art of contemplation. That is what I'm going to do the diary on today. This is a Gene Keys term and a Gene Keys concept, and it's very fresh on my heart as I am about to begin and embark with my fellow journeyers tomorrow on a Golden Path 4-month container. It's going to be a mentorship where we'll meet up monthly and we will be going through each individual's key. And of course, they will be doing quite a bit of contemplation on their own. And I will be holding a container that sort of meets and gathers and creates a little coherence while they're on their journey. So it's not quite so lonely, even though contemplation very much so requires comfortability with the self and ability to listen to the mind, the heart, the emotions, and to decipher what it is that your heart, your mind, and your emotions are attempting to translate to you. So this is one of Richard's first books he wrote. It is The Art of Contemplation, A Gentle Path to Wholeness and Prosperity. It's a very easy read. It's a short book, and I have a few points highlighted that I want to touch on together, beginning with the concept of contemplation. Contemplation is an art. And because it is an art, it is something that we can learn. However, sometimes a sharp and powerful intellect can be a hindrance in learning this simple art. Paradoxically, for many of us, contemplation begins as a form of unlearning, as we let go of reliance on our intellect and open up new pathways of awareness inside ourselves. Contemplation, as you can imagine, is a yin practice, whereas thinking and intellect is very yang. So I love this nugget here. The main difference between contemplation and either mindfulness or meditation is that contemplation also uses the mind in a proactive way. We make use of mindfulness by inwardly watching our mind, our emotions, and body. It fuses and uses their energy to bring about an increased state of self-awareness, freedom, and general prosperity. Thus, the real power of contemplation is that it naturally turns into decisive action, and that action brings about fundamental changes in our life. The other great advantage of contemplation is that it is a synthesizing art. It brings together both left brain techniques and right brain leaps in awareness. For example, it makes use of the practice of mindfulness in the background while using the power of imaginative thinking in the foreground. In this sense, contemplation has many avenues of approach to suit different personality types, whether you favor an intellect, emotional, or kinesthetic approach. This is an art that can easily adapt itself to your needs. So whether you do breath work, whether you do a walking meditation, whether you do yoga, those mindful practices can open the door for contemplation, is what Richard is suggesting there in that last passage. Breath brings freedom, and of course prosperity as well, as we feel the abundance of breath that we are given and gifted. It's so divine. Some people need to sit and be still in order to contemplate. Some people need to write. Some people need to see an object. Some people need to feel a sensation, hot tea going down their throat, or witness a flame of a candle or smoke of incense. I connect with all of that. And so Richard speaks about the 3 important techniques within contemplation, which are pausing, pivoting, and merging. So I'll give a little bit on that too. The practical essence of this book is given over the 3 simple techniques that you can learn, refine, and master. Each of these techniques relates to a potential transformation that contemplation can lead you through. The first technique is called pausing, and it relates to the mind. The second technique is called pivoting, and it relates to the emotions. The third technique is called merging, and it relates to the physical body. These techniques are easy to learn and ideally should be learned in order that they are given. In other words, it's better to properly grasp pausing before you move on to pivoting, since pivoting naturally evolves as you practice pausing. Okay, now let's go into something that I found really interesting, which is going to be something I bring up to my group tomorrow. Richard in this book breaks down the seasons and how the seasons can assist you in contemplation. And so the first one I found so interesting because it is the season that we are entering in as a group, and it's winter contemplation. It says, winter is the great feast time of the contemplative life. The deeper and more refined your practice of contemplation becomes, the more you will appreciate and love this season. The body needs more sleep, rest, and quiet in winter than any other time of year. Unfortunately, our modern lifestyle tends to make this one of the most stressful and busy times of the year. As a contemplative person, you may wish to tackle this challenge of culture versus chemistry head on. If you do find yourself under increased pressure, you will need to increase the frequency of your pauses in order to retain a healthy inner state. Short, regular pauses to take some deep breaths can literally reshape a whole day. As contemplation becomes more important to you, you may want to rearrange your life to ensure your body gets the quiet inner space it needs during winter. The art of contemplation is a profound practice whose roots will travel deep into our physical chemistry. In the beginning, you may not realize this as you begin to apply the techniques at a more surface level. You may also have noticed that the order of this book moves from mental to emotional to physical contemplation. This is because contemplation first begins in the mind. It then affects our emotional life and our relationships, where we may experience increasing clarity and calm. Finally, and after some time, your contemplation will also bring changes to your physical body. So, it's such a beautiful book, as you can tell. It goes into such a deep journey between the pausing, pivoting, and merging to that has really stuck with me. And it's really an important term to understand as you deepen your gene key journey, because no matter what, if you are on the journey of understanding your gene keys, you must understand contemplation and what that means to you and where your relationship is to it. So maybe looking up the term and sitting with it and defining it for yourself, and then, marinating on it, that might be really helpful, just to see what your relationship is to contemplation, if you even have a concept of it. And if not, how you can define one for yourself, and then of course begin to welcome in those moments to carve out time and make it a priority. And notice maybe currently what you contemplate the most. Is it worry about finance? Is your contemplative time more so worry and anxiety, stress and overthinking? And if you are an overthinker or an anxious person or a worrier, you will be exceptionally good at contemplation because you are already doing it. You're just doing it at a very low frequency. So it takes just a little bit of pivoting and pausing and merging to create that energy you're already expending into something that will generate more energy for you instead of leave you drained and feeling likely like you can't move forward. So I hope this is helpful for you. I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow.